Video games have been around since the 60s and continue to grow in popularity to this day. Video games have gone on to inspire countless books, TV series and even movies over the years that have been around. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of games have been created over the years. Many have gone on to sell millions of copies. Today we will look at the top 10 best-selling video games of all time, this list being based on total units sold worldwide. Number 10. Terraria. Terraria is a 2D sandbox game with gameplay that revolves around exploration, building, crafting, combat, survival and mining, and playable in both single and multiplayer modes. The game has a 2D sprite tile based graphic style reminiscent of the 16-bit sprites found on a Super Nintendo system. As of May 2022, Terraria has sold over 45.5 million copies, netting the developers over $450 million. Number 9. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an action-adventure game developed and published by Rockstar Games, released in 2018. The game is the third entry in the Red Dead series and a prequel to the 2010 game Red Dead Redemption. The story is set in 1899 and follows the exploits of outlaw Arthur Morgan, a member of the Van der Linde gang in the fictionalized representation of the West, Midwest and Southern USA. As of August 2022, the game has sold over 45 million copies, netting Rockstar approximately $2.8 billion. Number 8. Pokemon Original Game Boy Series, Blue, Red and Yellow. Pokemon Red Blue versions of role-playing video games developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo for the Game Boy. They are the first installments of the Pokemon video game series and have gone on to spawn the worldwide phenomenon Pokemon is today. The goal of the games is to become champion in the Indigo League by defeating 8 gym leaders and then topping the Elite Four in the land. Another objective is to of course complete the Pokédex, an in-game encyclopedia, by obtaining the 151 available Pokemon. Being released in 1996, with Pokemon Yellow being released later on in 2000, they have gone on to sell 47.5 million copies worldwide since release, being crowned the best-selling RPG of all time in 2017 by IGN. This has made Nintendo, so far, an approximate $1.3 billion. Number 7. Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition. Mario Kart 8 is a racing game developed and published by Nintendo and first released for the Wii U in May 2014. It retains Mario Kart series game mechanics, which controls Mario characters in kart racing, collecting a variety of items to hinder opponents or gaining advantages in the races. Mario Kart 8 introduced anti-gravity, driving on walls and ceilings, and allows players to bump into each other for a short boost. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, an enhanced version for the Nintendo Switch, was released in April 2017. It was also a success, with critics lauding the expansion of the battle mode and became the best-selling Switch game ever. Both games combined have sold 55.28 million copies worldwide, bringing in an approximate $2.487 billion. Number 6. Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Is a platform game developed and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The successor to the 1983 arcade game Mario Bros. And the first game in the Super Mario series, it was released in 1985 for the Famicom in Japan. Following a limited US release on the NES, it was ported to international arcades for the Nintendo Versus system in the early 1986. The NES version received worldwide release in North America that year and in PAL regions in 1987. Players control Mario or his brother Luigi in the multiplayer mode as they traverse the Mushroom Kingdom to rescue Princess Toadstool, now known as Peach, from King Koopa, now known as Bowser. The original Mario title has sold over 58 million copies across multiple releases on newer platforms and introducing the fire-wielding plumber to the world. The original title has also netted Nintendo approximately $1.5 billion in sales. It also holds the Guinness World Record for the most expensive video game ever sold, with a sealed copy selling for $660,000 in 2021. Number 5. PUBG Battlegrounds. PUBG Battlegrounds is a battle royale game developed and published by PUBG Studios. In the game, up to 100 players parachute onto an island where they scavenge for weapons and equipment to kill other players while avoiding getting shanked themselves. The available safe area of the game's map decreases over time, directing surviving players into an ever-tightening space to force that final encounter. The game has sold over 75 million copies and has brought in an approximate $13.07 billion as of May 2022, making it one of the highest grossing games of all time. Number 4. Wii Sports. Wii Sports is a collection of 5 sports designed to demonstrate the motion sensing capabilities of the Wii Remote. The 5 sports included are tennis, baseball, bowling, golf and boxing. Players use the Wii Remote to mimic the actions performed in the real life sports, such as swinging the tennis racket or swinging a golf club. The rules for each game have been simplified to make them more accessible to newer players. The game also features training and fitness modes that monitor players' progress in each sport. As of May 2022, it has sold 82.9 million copies worldwide, bringing in an approximate sale revenue of 3.3 billion. Number 3. Tetris. This is not referring to the original Tetris game released back in 1984, but to the newer version released by EA in 2006. In case you live in a cave, this version of Tetris is a puzzle video game developed by EA Mobile and published by Electronic Arts for a huge variety of platforms. It featured the same Tetris style tiles as the original game, but introduced the Marathon and Magic variants of the game. Marathon requiring the player to clear 150 lines in order to complete, while Magic was a progressive mode which got harder after each level was completed. The game, however, is now discontinued as of 2021, but managed to rack up 100 million downloads, making EA an approximate $1 billion over its lifetime. Number 2. Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a 2013 action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It's the 7th main entry in the Grand Theft Auto series, following 2008's Grand Theft Auto 4 and the 15th installment overall. Set within the fictional state of San Andreas, based on Southern California, this single-player story follows 3 protagonists: retired bank robber Michael DeSanta, street gangster Franklin Clinton, and drug dealer and gunrunner Trevor Phillips, and their attempts to commit heists while under pressure from a crook-ridden agency and powerful criminals. The open world design lets players freely roam San Andreas' open countryside in the fictional city of Los Santos, based on LA. The game also features an extremely popular online version where players create their own characters and complete heists, races and missions in order to gain ranking and money. The game has sold over 169 million copies as of August 2022, making Rockstar a whopping $6.7 billion. Number 1. Minecraft. Minecraft is a sandbox video game developed by Mojang Studios. The game was originally created by Marcus Notch Pearson, who first released the beta version to the public in May 2009. In case again you live under a rock, in Minecraft players explore a blocky, procedurally generated 3D world with virtually infinite terrain, and may discover and extract more materials, craft tools and items, build structures, machines and almost anything the player can imagine. Game modes include survival mode, in which players must acquire resources to build in the world and maintain health, and a creative mode, where players have unlimited resources and access to flight. Using the game's redstone material, players have managed to create some insane builds, such as a working mobile phone and gigantic minigame servers. The game has sold over 238 million copies since its initial release, bringing in over $5 billion in sales revenue, with an average of 140 million active monthly players. If taking into account all other revenue streams, Minecraft is the most successful game of all time. And there we have it, the top 10 selling games of all time. So if you enjoyed it, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below, of course subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links down below, and that's for to say, I've been NextStarCorrects. I shall see you in the next video.